I am Anil Kumar. Welcome to my YouTube channel and the website Global Math Institute. Well, on my website and on YouTube channel, you see some very interesting test problems and thinking questions. Here is one, which involves operations with radicals. You might see them in some competitive exam. So under the category of thinking questions, perfect. So let's think a bit and try to simplify and evaluate the given expression, which is 1 plus square root 2 plus 1 over 2 plus square root 2 plus 1 over square root 2 minus 2. How am I going to simplify it? Well, a couple of things. We could take a common denominator, right, and then work it out. So sometimes I feel it's better to keep it simple, right? So let me rewrite this expression and work towards the solution. So we have 1 plus square root 2. That is a very simple expression. Let us not complicate this one. And the other one is 1 over 2 plus square root 2 plus 1 over 2 minus square root 2. Well, if you look at it, does that remind you something? How are these related? Well, clearly, let me write it on the side. If I have square root 2 minus 2, can I write this as minus of 2 minus square root 2? I think I can, right? So they are the same thing. So negative of one another. Perfect. So this minus will make this thing here minus. Perfect. So that is what I'm going to do in my very first step. So I'm going to write this as 1 over 2 plus square root 2 and minus of 1 over 2 minus square root. Do you see that? So what I did was I made this connection. Perfect. And that results into this particular negative sign, right? Looks good to you now? Now you see there is a way to simplify it, right? Much easier. We already have the conjugates right in the denominator. So if I take common denominator, it makes sense, right? Perfect. So that's what we are going to do. We will actually combine these two terms. We have 1 plus square root 2. We are not going to disturb this. It's already a very simple term to work with, right? And here we are going to multiply them. That is to say, let me rewrite 2 plus square root 2 times 2 minus square root 2. Makes sense, right? So when you cross multiply, you get what? You get 2 minus square root 2 minus of 2 plus square root 2. It is very good to keep these terms in the bracket. Do you observe that? Many times I've seen, when you do, if you do it directly, you might mess up with the signs, right? So brackets help. So we have what? We have 1 plus square root 2 now as such, and on this side, denominator can be simplified, right? And the denominator is difference of squares, which is 2 square, 4 minus 2, right? Correct? Square root 2 square is 2. And in the numerator, what you observe is 2 minus 2 is 0, right? So this 2 and this 2 cancel, right? And minus 2 and minus square root 2, those things combine together. So we get minus of 2 times square root 2. Makes sense? And so we have 1 plus square root 2 and plus minus, okay, so plus minus, let me put minus here, no problems, correct. 2 square root 2 divided by 4 minus 2 is also 2. So we can now cancel away this 2, right? Makes sense, right? Okay. So then square root 2 also cancels, perfect. And that gives us the simplified expression, right? 1 plus square root 2 minus square root 2 is just 1, right? So we have simplified this expression to just 1. Do you see that? So that is how it can be done. So the idea here is to look into the things. For example, the very first thing, how we related this third term, right? This particular term, right? And then, we did not complicate the first one. We kept it as such. So keeping things simple, which are simple, and then the other things which were complex, we kind of combined them to simplify. Make sense? Perfect. So I hope you like this particular solution. and you're ready to do such questions, right? Feel free to write your comments, share your views. If you like and subscribe to my videos, it'd be great. And in case you want to learn from me, you can always send an email on the address given. Thanks for your time and all the best.